I wish that I could have knocked him out at the start, but as we saw, he came to my ears and whispered, "Please be easy on me." He thought I'm Mike Tyson, and I will follow his script 40 seconds after I broke the clown's jaw. We are boxers, not content creators. I wish that I could have knocked him out at the start, but as we saw, I didn't want to put him down early. You all know I was handcuffed. I don't want to say anything that I will be regretting in the future, but all I can say now is the first 20 seconds was enough for me to end Jake Paul.
It's like this is the clearest fixed fight you're ever going to see. But look at this guy holding his hands up and watch. Watch that.
Oh.
He literally shows him his chin and he goes down. It's so fake. Look at him. He's got nothing. It's like a guy who just learned boxing.
The day after I woke up and told my wife, "Why did I do that?" I don't know. I just don't know what the hell goes on. I remember one thing. I had a very hard moment in that part of my life. But I assure you, in that age, I could have put that clown in the first round, but I sold my soul. And I'm
a guy who just had a boxing match that looks like a sparring match with a 58-year-old Mike Tyson. And then you're going to fight one of the absolute scariest knockout artists in the heavyweight division.
That mismatch between expectation and outcome is where truth leaks. And it's leaking everywhere if you stop pretending. And the Tyson angle still gnaws at me because memory loss isn't a cute anecdote. It's a flare. Flares don't fire by accident. And whether it's physical or psychological or something messier nobody wants to name, it adds unease that never got resolved, just buried under hype. And now Joshua's punch dug that grave back up. So who put the body there? Seriously, who signed off on that part?
That guy did great for someone who's been boxing for less than a decade. He has had no real professional opponents other than Tommy Fury that were legitimate world-class boxers.
I don't even remember. Pros watch tape differently, and this shook fighters behind the scenes because they didn't see drama. They saw timing and distance and intent. And what they saw was a guy realizing too late the rules had changed. And that realization is pure terror because it means the safety net was imaginary. And imaginary safety nets end careers fast. Which is why Rogan's tone flipped not morality but reminder. He's seen damage cross lines before, and he knows when a headline is loading. Don't kid yourself thinking Suits didn't imagine worst cases. They game them out for breakfast, which means what we're watching now is reputation management happening live. Calm faces, frantic rooms, and the longer clarity takes, the louder suspicion gets. Because if everything was straightforward, answers would be instant. Instead, it feels layered and negotiated and filtered, and that's never good. So when you hear delays, hear deals. When you hear pauses, hear pressure, and ask who benefits from the fog right now.
Oh, no, I don't remember the fight that much. I kind of blanked out a little. Listen, know what I remember? Coming back from the first round, and then the next day I remember Jacob doing some kind of, I don't know, what was he doing at the ring?
Oh, yeah, a little bow at the end. He bowed.
And that's the last thing I remember. But the day after the fight, the day after, I woke up and told my wife, "Why did I do that?" I don't know. I just don't know what the hell goes on.
What did you think of Jake's power, man, when you were in there?
I don't remember it. But my body was really sore. Yeah, my body, my chest, my stomach and stuff was really sore.
I keep circling Joshua not as hero or villain, but as accelerant because he didn't create the problem, he exposed it ahead of schedule, and exposure kills control, and control was the real currency here, control over opponents' narratives outcomes, and one punch ripped it away, and control never surrenders quietly, so expect pushback, expect spin, expect people to suddenly remember things differently because once control slips, everyone starts grabbing for something to hold on to even if it's a lie.
Also nuts. Right? The fact that he's willing to fight the two-time heavyweight champion, former Olympic gold medalist, a guy who's gigantic in his prime, built like a Greek god.
Yeah.
And you're going to stand, and he's a one-punch killer, and you're going to stand in front.
Joe Rogan discussing this moment brought up what had become clear from Joshua's performance. Some will shrug and say it's boxing, injuries happen. Move on, and that's lazy. Context matters. And this context is soaked in marketing promises of legitimacy that weren't earned. And when marketing outruns reality, someone pays the difference, and the bill came due in bone and metal. And now it's being passed around hoping someone else eats it. And no, I don't think Jake Paul is evil. I think he's a product, and products get pushed until they break. Then everyone argues about warranties.
You could only take so much. And at a certain, like that one that he got from Joshua, ooh, you know, say if you have like a punch card, you have like so many punch that you can get in your life, which I believe you do. I believe there's a certain number. That one was like 10 bunches.
Yeah.
That was like,
Yeah.
there was a lot of concussions in that one punch.
Sure.
That was real damage.
Here's the chilling part you're not ready for. There's a chilling effect already spreading. Fighters thinking twice. Commissions sharpening questions. Insurers raising eyebrows. Easy money suddenly sweating. And when easy money dries, loyalty evaporates fast. And that's when praise turns into distance quietly. And fans aren't stupid. They like spectacle, but respect authenticity. And Joshua delivered authenticity raw and unforgiving. Once fans taste that again, watered-down versions stop selling, and that scares people whose business needs blur.
In pain?
Yeah, but
Does
it's
it
not
hurt?
it's not from like talking.
Talk to me about what your jaw feels like, because you got
It's
what,
like
two,
a baseball in there.
two
and then
plates,
It
Four.
just feels like
4 titanium plates.
4 titanium plates. How many do you have?
Just one.
Eight screws. Eight screws.
I keep wondering what happens if Paul comes back psychologically, not physically, because once you know you can be shattered, the ring feels heavier and closer. Confidence turns performative, and performative confidence gets people hurt. That's history, not opinion, and history repeats ruthlessly. And lurking behind this is the legal regulatory side. Nobody wants to talk about because commissions hate embarrassment, and this was systemic embarrassment. Tighten screws ripple outward. Consequences breed there. And I feel like we're only seeing the clean version right now. The Messier conversations are happening behind closed doors where blame is being negotiated and narratives align. And those rooms decide the future, not pressers. And I don't think influencer boxing dies overnight, but I think the well got poisoned. And poison wells don't announce themselves. They make everyone sick slowly until nobody drinks anymore. And that end doesn't come with a bang. It comes with absence. And absence is terrifying if your entire model depends on constant noise. Ask yourself who goes quiet first. What lingers isn't the punch, it's the pause. That collective inhale when everyone realized something irreversible happened. And irreversible moments don't get undone by spin. They just sit there getting heavier. So yeah, this is messy and unresolved because that's how it feels. Unresolved and mutating. And until honesty replaces choreography, this story keeps cracking and cracks spread on their own. And right now, it feels like we're standing on something that hasn't finished breaking yet. And I swear something else is about to surface. Something they really don't want us connecting.
I'm just hoping after this Floyd fight, maybe we can have a rematch. He did well, but I want to try it again.
Is that something that you would be interested in terms of righting the wrong and not the
I would be interested. Yes, I would. I would be interested in that.
This ends with commissions panicking, insurers freezing phones, and a business model bleeding out in public. And now rewind with me, because if you blink, you miss the moment. Reality punched through the script, and everything started screaming at once. I'm talking about the second normal showed up, and the system freaked, because when Joshua treated him like any other body in the ring, the fantasy shattered, and the silence after the punch was louder than the crowd. Nah, this can't be real. And if you think this was just a knockout, you already missed the disaster forming behind it. I keep replaying it, and every replay makes it worse, not better. Because this wasn't a fighter getting hurt. This was leverage evaporating in real time. And here's the part nobody wants to say out loud. When things are clean, people talk fast and clearly. But right now, all you hear is noise and hedging and careful words tripping over themselves. So ask yourself why the truth is suddenly allergic to daylight. Who is stalling? Who is counting favors? And what exactly are they afraid will come out next? Here's my honest take. And yeah, it's ugly. Jake Paul didn't build a boxing career. He built a controlled environment. And controlled environments work until one person stops cooperating. And Joshua didn't rebel or grandstand. He just behaved like a normal elite fighter, which is terrifying to a system that survives on exceptions. Because the moment normal arrives, the experiment collapses. And if you're uncomfortable right now, good. Because discomfort means the illusion is cracking and something underneath is trying to breathe. People keep chanting bravery like it's a shield. But bravery without wisdom is liability. And liability is what networks insure against not fighters. So don't look at the ropes, look at the signatures. Because some would approve this knowing the gap, knowing the risk curve, knowing the possible outcome. And approval equals responsibility. Yet responsibility is being dodged so hard you can feel the draft. And every time they pivot to toughness instead of judgment, another red flag goes up. Count them. Don't look away. The injury matters, sure, but the precedent is the nuclear part. Because once once a brand tests itself against elite violence, you can't unsee the ceiling. And that ceiling isn't mystery, it's concrete, and someone just hit it head first. So every influencer fight from now on exists in Joshua's shadow. A long, unforgiving shadow that just stole plausible deniability from promoters who loved saying, "We don't know yet." Yeah, we know now. And they're scrambling because the tape doesn't lie even when people do. What bothers me most is how predictable the fallout was. Not the punch, but the panic after. Because boxing history is a graveyard of moments where entertainment pushed too far, then paid later. It always goes laughter to curiosity to concern to regret. And guess where we are? Stuck between concern and regret. While timelines quietly rewrite themselves, and don't insult me by calling these people naive, they understand force, damage, risk, which means the gamble was intentional. So, tell me who was supposed to lose, because it sure wasn't supposed to look like this. I'm going to say names now because dancing around it feels fake. Anthony Joshua didn't wake up planning to expose anyone, but he did it anyway. And Jake Paul didn't wake up planning to get turned into a warning label, but here we are. And when I think about Eddie Hearn, Dana White, Joe Rogan, commissions, promoters, all of them, I don't see villains. But I see adults who knew exactly how sharp the knives were and kept smiling anyway. And that's what messes with me, because this wasn't ignorance. This was confidence. And confidence got punched in the mouth. When Joe Rogan shifted tone, you could feel it because Rogan has seen real damage up close. He's talked to fighters after wars. He knows what blank stares mean. And that's why his reaction mattered more than 1,000 tweets. Because when Rogan gets quiet, it's not for clicks. It's because his brain is running worst case footage. And I swear the second he spoke differently, a lot of people watching felt that same cold slide in their stomach. Jake Paul is a complicated figure, and pretending otherwise is lazy because the guy is brave, ambitious, and smarter than people give him credit for. But bravery doesn't equal readiness, and ambition doesn't stop physics. And when he stood across from Joshua, he wasn't facing a YouTube villain.